found it. One, two. I know one about this. We don't. So, look, it's a great day, man. And I got a special guest here. Somebody that's been an intricate part of my life for some time, man. So I asked him to come into the No Matter What podcast, man. Sit down and tell us about his process. With that, man, I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yeah, my name is Derrick Brown, but everybody calls me Cloud. First and foremost, like I want to thank Jay. It's an honor and a privilege that he asked me to come be a part of his podcast. But most importantly, I want to thank God for the things he's done for me in my life. Without him, nothing wouldn't have been possible. You know, Jay talks about how the intricate part I am in his life, but I'm just taking it back, you know what I mean, a little bit, right, from our youth. You know what I mean? We come from good, solid family backgrounds. We come from being raised with good morals and values. Whatever we did in the street is the decisions we decided to do. You know what I mean? I was a good athlete coming up. I played basketball on a high level. Went through a whole lot of stuff as far as like playing basketball, able to go places that some people from my neighborhood have an opportunity to go through the process of playing basketball. But the streets still called me. You know, everybody knows I was from a gang. You know what I mean? Our gang was the Moon Gang. You know what I mean? I had some homies, man, that I'm gonna say some of their names that were an integral part of my life. I'm gonna talk about my homie Big Wingate, my homie Harold Hall Q, Hip, Blast, Snap, Woo. Those are the guys that I hung with on a daily basis, man. And we were like a family. We did everything together. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of drifted off a little bit. I'm gonna just segue back a little bit. After I got shot, I got shot numerous times. November 9th, 1989. I got shot numerous times. Almost lost my life. Paralyzed from the waist down, coma, the whole 9 yards. It took me a couple years to be able to function at a normal pace again. I wore a colostomy bag. All the stuff that comes as a result of me not paying attention and not listening to my family and going places where I shouldn't have been going. As a result of me getting shot, never able to play basketball, function normally, right? Once I was healthy enough to move around, right, drugs became a vehicle for me to escape reality. I used to live and I lived to use.
So let me ask you a question, right? How? Because you know your story's similar to mine, right? So how do we come? Because you know you got sisters and your mother, and I had my mother, my sister. How do we? Like we got so much love around us, but how do we find a way to not being able to love ourselves the way they love us?
I think that's a great question. I think that we couldn't love ourselves the way they love us, right? Because we stopped loving ourselves. And you can't receive love or give love, right, if you don't love yourself. And as a result of me getting shot, I thought the world came to an end. So the love that my family had for me, the love that my close friends that were like my family had for me, the love my sisters had for me, I couldn't fully receive it because I was hurting. And because I was hurting, I hurted me. So I didn't know how to love me no more. I couldn't give myself, and I tell people that I try to help, in order for you to receive love or give love, you gotta know how to love yourself again. So the process of me getting clean, right, and doing some work on myself, it gave me, I regained the ability to love myself. I regained the ability to receive love. So by me regaining the ability to love myself, I was able to receive the love that people had for me, right? They wanted to see me get better and be and have personal growth in my life. So that's what that happened. You know what I mean? That's what, for me, that's what all how everything transpired, right? Me learning how to love me again, right? So I was able to receive love that you and everybody else had for me. Because I remember a time before when you used to see me before you went through what you went through, and all you did was show me love. Like that's my old way. Like what's going on with you, man? Like I ain't used to seeing you like this. You know what I'm saying? So as a result of me getting clean, right, I was able to like take the process that we both involved in, gives us the steps, right, and the hope and the vision to learn how to love ourselves again. As a result of me learning how to love myself again, my life became fruitful and prosperous once again. And that's through God's grace and mercy.
And yeah, you know, and that's what helped me, man, from seeing you in those different states, right, and then to see you where you at now, right. That made it possible. That gave me that tangible evidence that I needed, right, to say that I could do this too. See, it's about those moments, right, where we can see it and then and feel it with somebody else to give us that we can identify and say, man, if he can do it, like I seen where he came, but I seen where he was at, and now I see where you at. I'm talking about how the dramatic change, right, not just from you not using, but I'm talking about the person you like. You was a monster, right? Let's be honest, right? And so I was, you know, and I wanted to be a monster too, and some days I was. And so I was just thinking right before I got here, like how I treated my mother and my family, man. Yeah. And like it brought me to tears, right? Because like when I think back, man, like they ain't deserve none of that. Because all they did was pray for me and love on me, man, and they got me to where I'm at now, man. And so, you know, the relevancy, man, and I you know, we got a lot in common, right? Because I had a colostomy bag. You know, I got shot, right? But you know, it's just, man, important that we introduce somebody to a way out, man.
Way out. And you know, our stories are so similar, man. You got all sisters, I got all sisters. You got a doting and loving and caring mom to love our sons, man. And I think that's what I think our connection, right? Right? Because my mother knew your grandma. Right. You know what I'm saying? We from the same neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? And I think that connection, right, even though we didn't use together, but that connection we have as far as like you being my young wolf from the neighborhood, you see me do stuff that somebody shouldn't be doing. And I ain't just talking about using drugs, I'm talking about everything that we did out in the street, man, from this neighborhood, right? And you see me, and then you seen the transformation, right? Me matriculating to something like that's a positive part in my community, right? In my family, with my children, with at my place of employment, right? I become an asset instead of a liability. And that's a direct result. Like I can't not leave God out of it, man. You know what I mean? I gotta talk about like the part that God plays in my life every day. You know what I mean? So I just one of the things I tell people and I tell you, right, is like, listen, man, change is important, man. It's integral to the new way of life that we live. I can't continue, right, to exhibit and act out on the same negative behaviors that I did prior to what God has given me now, because then I'm being ungrateful. Right? I gotta show change in the way I walk, in the way I talk, in the way I handle situations. You know, before somebody say something to us, we ready to move out, right? But we gotta play the tape all the way through. Like, what am I gonna gain from that? You know what I mean? What am I going? And I'm not saying that we just let anybody do anything to us, but at this point in our life, we look at everything that we have to lose, right, and nothing to gain if we act on that behavior. Right? So we don't put ourselves in situations, me or you, or the people we deal with, we don't put ourselves in situations that we got to be looking over our shoulder, and I might have to act out in a violent manner or do something in a violent nature, right? Because I'm Cloud, right, or you're Jay. You know what I mean? I'm always going to be Cloud. You're always going to be Jay, right? But the new version is a lot better than the old version.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
And like you mentioned you mentioned Harold Q, right? Which is you know what I mean, your homie, man, my old head. And I call him the spiritual guru, right?
Spiritual guru.
Because, you know, he always brings something right to me that when I need it, man, you know what I mean? And, you know, and I tell people all the time on the podcast, like, you got to have some people that believe in you, man, yeah, and want to help you no matter what, man. Somebody that help blow life back into you, man, because we all got those moments like when we feel like we less than, man.
We're going to speak about Harold, man, Q Diesel, man. Shout out to my man Harold Hall, Q Diesel, love you, man. Love you, Q. So listen, man, Q is more than just my friend. He's my brother, right? You know, he's like a big brother to you. Absolutely. But I can remember, right, in my total despair, in my total desperation, right, in me living a life of degradation and dereliction, right, through the use of drugs, right, like he came and picked me up and held on to me, right, took me home and told my sisters he got me, told my family he got me. You know what I'm saying? Because my family was lost. They didn't know how to help me no more. No, they couldn't give me enough, right? All they could do was they shed a lot of tears over me, man, and I'm glad I get to make them smile. But I'm gonna talk about Q, man. Like, people don't know, man, how valuable he is to my life. You know, man, how valuable he is to, man, he has a spirit, man, that's, you can't even put a label on it, right? You can't even put a monetary value on what he brings to my life, and of course yours, man. We talk about it, man. But he a special person in my life, man. And when I have to make a life decision outside of the other people I talk to, right, I always run it past him. You know, man. He gives me information, man, and gives me suggestions, man. Ultimately, I'll make the final decision, but his input is so valuable, man, to my life, man. He helped me get to the point in my life where I'm at right now. So, you know, I just want to say one thing, man. You know, my family, man, right, they look at me with so much respect and admiration now, man. You can't buy that, man. You know what I mean? My son and my daughter, I talk to them all the time. I'm a grandfather. You know, that's only through God's grace and mercy, because where we come from and the way he was living, man, the penitentiary and the graveyard was real good options. But because we made
just options, but reality.
But because we made a choice, man, to change our reality, man. We made a choice, man, to do something about our situation, man. We made a choice to change. You know what I mean? That's what helped us be here today, be able to sit on your podcast, right?
No matter what podcast.
No matter what podcast, right? Like, you know, man, when he came up with this vision, man, like, I was like, yo, Jay, that's your calling. That's what you want to do, because this is your way of giving back. This is your way of showing people, man, my life has changed. And listen, man, whoever don't believe in it, that's their stuff, right? Because listen, man, when people see us today, they see something different. People call me on the phone asking me for help. People call me on the phone asking me, can I help their sons? You know, because I worked in juvenile detention for 18 years. Okay. You know what I mean? And I have a way with the young men. I have a way of communicating with them, man. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, the best person to get through these young men out here that's going through what they're going through right now is somebody that's been through it. You know, and we've been through the depths of hell, man, and we made it back. You know what I mean?
And so, listen, man, you know, the podcast was something that I aspired, right, because I wanted to open the door, right, for us to talk to the people in our community, man, and like, you know, because we were just talking to a friend, right, and he's saying that his brother's struggling, right, and so I know that he be on Facebook, Instagram, and so if we can't physically reach him, right, we can reach him now through, you know what I mean, through Facebook Live, through Instagram.
And we here, Chicken Wing.
Man, because we love you, Chick, man. And so, and you know where to find us at, man, right here at the barber shop. You know what I mean?
We just seen your brother Billy, man, and he told us, man, what you going through, man. So we here, man. You know what I mean? We here. You know what I mean? And you know, Jay, man, you know, sometimes I sit on the side of the bed, man, right, and I think about some of our friends that's not here no more. Yeah. Some of our friends that died as the direct result of the street, right? Some of our friends that died as the direct result of drug and alcohol addiction, and some of our friends that aren't here no more that just died because God was ready for them. You know, through sickness or just natural stuff, right? And one thing I don't discount is the blessing of waking up in the morning. That's the greatest gift, man. You know, when we tease each other about like going buying sneakers and being sneakerheads and looking nice and all that, right? But the way I feel on the inside, right? The way I feel on the inside, what's up?
That's the proprietor there, the ESPN barbershop. We're gonna have him on next, right? We're gonna talk about his journey.
Yeah, but the way I feel on the inside is so much, man. So it can't put a value on it, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I still have struggles. I still have mishaps. I still have times where I ain't sure about things. I still have times where I'm indecisive. I still have times where sometimes I don't think I'm doing enough, right? But I always look back on like where I've been and where I'm at now.
So let me ask you a question. Why do you think you continue to stay in the recovery process?
Why I stay in the recovery process, man, because there's no monetary value on how I feel right now. There's no monetary value on the things that God has blessed me with. And I stay in the recovery process because I don't want to lose my friends like you. I want to be around you. I want to be able to go to my sister's house and go in the refrigerator and be their brother. You know what I mean? I want my kids to call me up and say, Dad, I love you. I want to call my kids and say, we hanging out today. I want to be around. I want to be a vision of hope to my nephews and my great nephews and my great nieces, man. I want to be a vision of hope to the people in my neighborhood, the young men that's struggling out here don't think there's a way out. So I stand in the recovery process, man, because I believe it's an assignment from God, right? They ain't doing it just for me no more, right? It's a selfless but not selfish act. It's selfish because it's for me, but it's not selfish because as long as I stay clean, as long as I stay in the recovery process, as long as I reach out to help somebody else, man, not only do I get blessed, but other people get blessings through God blessing me to bless them. You know what I mean? It's an ongoing cycle. Remember, the cycle used to be vicious. Yeah. Now it's a cycle of love, caring, and understanding, man, and empathy, man, for somebody else, man, to live and experience what I'm experiencing, man. And listen, man, it don't promise that I'm going to be a millionaire. It don't promise I'm going to be rich. But the way I feel is I'm rich beyond words because of what God's doing for me, man. You know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? And we employable today. Like, we got good jobs. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Through the process of recovery. Through staying clean. Yeah. And so, you know what, man? You know, I get filled up, man, every time that I see somebody new coming through the process, man. Yeah. Right? You know that, and I feel obligated, like, to do all I can to fan their flame and breathe life into them, right? Cause man, I ain't know what to expect when I started to change. Yeah. But I was feeling like a sucker. But, you know, I start home, I'm getting soft around here, hugging on people.
Yeah, you know, and we don't promote no programs, right? But what we do is talk about what worked for us, right? And so you my sponsor, right? Yeah. But you also sponsored me when I wasn't in the program, right?
Did I?
So you know what I mean? Like this program worked because you know everything you did out there I wanted to do, and everything you doing in here I aspire to be and do, man.
Ain't that funny how God works, man? Like we can teach somebody to do negative stuff, man, and they look up to you, man, because that's my OG. That's Cloud. You know what I'm saying? But also, man, once we make a decision, right, to turn the corner and live a life, right, that's conducive to prosperity, fruitfulness, man, and abundance, man, you know what I'm saying? You see somebody that used to be messing up and say, Dad, how can I be down? The same way we can be down on a negative thing. And that's you, man. One thing I love about you, Jay, man, you're very outspoken. You know what I'm saying? You're very outspoken. You're adamant, man. And for lack of a better word, you vicious about this recovery process, man. You know what I mean? You don't waver in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And so what I do for you, like you give back to me, right? Cause I got to stay on my toes. No, I gotta keep moving forward. I gotta keep showing progress. I gotta keep showing that I'm grateful. I gotta keep showing what's the word I'm looking for? I gotta keep showing that I'm moving forward and being upwardly mobile, right? And showing personal growth, right? Because then that makes you want to keep following me. If I ain't growing personally, why you want to follow somebody that ain't growing? Why you want to follow somebody, man, that's still like staying stuck in a negative mindset, right? Because some days, man, like I just said earlier, right, segue back a little bit, some days I be feeling like, dang, I ain't doing enough. But then I realize all the things that I am doing. Absolutely. Right? And then I hear somebody say, man, you worthy of everything you getting. And everything you don't have, it ain't ready. It ain't supposed to have it yet. Yeah, like, you know, we discredit ourselves a lot of time, right? But man, like, you doing a wonderful job, man. You know, hey, listen, man, I've seen the change, man. You know, and even like, and how when I tell you something, right, how you receive it, right? Yeah. Because we used to bump in a little bit. And I had to take a look at that. We ain't bumped in a little bit. We was class. Yeah, I had to take a look at that. You know, so I said, man, I'm giving me sponsors. But they said, no, this sponsorship will work both ways, right? And so I help you and you help me, right? And so that's the love, that's an agape love, man. The unconditional love that we got for each other. I think for me and you, right? I think why we set a good connection, have a good connection because of the love we had each other prior to this even becoming a part of our lives.
Right.
How would you was to see, what's up, old head? You know, when you was living in Atlanta, you would send me messages on Facebook, man. So the love we have for each other is not nothing new.
Right.
It's just been intensified, right, through the program. Right? We always had mad love for each other. We always had mad respect for each other. We always that's my youngin', that's my old head, right? But now it's been intensified because of the new path we chose to walk down. And I think that's just God's grace and mercy, man. You know what I mean?
So listen, I think this is a good place, you know what I mean, to segue out, man. But so I missed the ad in the first part, but I always want to say thank you to my people here at ESPN Head Zone, man, for allowing us to put the podcast in the building, man.
Yeah.
And listen, if you ain't been here to get fresh, get here, man. Get here, get your hair cut, man. Come in and just meet the people, man. It's a great community spot. He ain't just in the community, but he's for the community and of the community, right? And so this is ESPN Head Zone on the corner of 60th and Girard. And once again, man,
no matter what podcast,
I love you.
I love you too, man.
I appreciate you, man. Continue, man, to be a vessel, man, and I'm gonna continue to hold on to your kill.
Love you, baby.
Love you. No matter what.
No matter what.
You can do it.
You can do it.
Peace.
Peace. Thank you, man. Can't plan what you gonna say, baby.
Yeah.